Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal will definitely sign a central midfielder this coming summer, according to Ben Jacobs. And Declan Rice, Serge Milinkovic-Savic are the two names on top of our list. Of course, TIELEMANS is another player Arsenal are looking at to sign on a free. We're going to be diving into that. We'll be talking about Balogun. According to some sources, Arsenal have already started receiving offers for Balogun worth 30 to 50 million pounds. And the question for me in the comment section that we have to talk about, how much is Balogun worth? Should Arsenal sell him in the first place? And if we were to sell him, how much is he worth? Right now, he's one of the very, very interesting strikers we are having in Europe. Not only in the French League, but in Europe. He's the top scorer there in the French League 1, ahead of Mbappe, ahead of Messi, ahead of all the strikers in the league. So how much should Arsenal sell Balogun for? If you don't want to sell him, then let me know in the comment section why he should stay. And is he better than Eddie Nketiah? Is he better than Eddie? Because I think it has always been a debate in there between Arsenal fans. Is Eddie Nketiah better? Is Balogun better? Balogun now playing professional football in France with Reims and is having a massive season. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And I also want us to talk about Gabriel Martinelli in this video. What is going on with Gabriel Martinelli? That's a very, very huge topic that we have to discuss on this channel, because in the last 2-3 games, he doesn't quite seem like the player we know. He cannot be the defender. He doesn't have that explosive, pace that we know that he has anymore. And just looks like all the Arsenal team is playing away from him. We are isolating him. When you look at our average positions in the last game, we were not giving him service. We are not playing the ball towards Gabriel Martinelli anymore. We are playing the ball towards Saka alone, or playing down through the middle. So what is going on with Gabriel Martinelli? Are you concerned with Martinelli's lack of form? Or it is one of those periods where a player actually loses form and then eventually regains it back? So let me know in the comment box below what you think about all those headlines that I've just mentioned. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 300 likes. Do subscribe to the podcast as well. By the way, we're very, very close to 63,000 subscribers. Now, let us start off with the big story. Balogun is one of those players that we have sent out on loan since the start of this campaign, and it's done very, very well. Like, I don't remember the last time Arsenal sent out a player on loan and then we had a debate amongst ourselves. Do we bring him back? Do we sell him? Do we sell him? And if we are selling him, for how much are we? I think Pepe has also done all right. But the magnitude, the level, the height, the levels at which Balogun is, performing at Reims as a striker is absolutely unbelievable. He's in the same league as Kylian Mbappe. He's in the same league as Lionel Messi. He's in the same league as Neymar Jr. And is absolutely blowing them apart. This campaign alone, Balogun has already managed 14 goals for Reims, and that puts him top of the goal scorers table in the French League. But that is not it. He's actually scored many more goals than many strikers in the Premier League this campaign. There is no Arsenal player this campaign that has scored more goals than Balogun, to be honest. And actually, I think if you combine Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus, two of the top strikers at Arsenal right now, both of them combined do not have the number of league goals Balogun has scored at Reims. And of course, we always knew he was going to come around. We always knew he was going to become that kind of guy that will score the goals. He just needs a lot of a lot of patience, a lot of time in his development. Is developing very, very well. And Mikel Arteta said he didn't think about bringing him back in January, even when Gabriel Jesus picked up an injury. He never thought of bringing Balogun back to the Emirates Stadium, because he knows if you want to let a player develop, protect him. And that's what he's done. He's gone, whether we have players or not, I'm going to protect Balogun, and I'm not going to give him all this kind of game time under pressure that many people want us to give him. So what do you think about Balogun? A couple of offers are already coming onto the table for us. Now we are talking about 30s, 40s, 50s. We're talking about 50s of £1 million. Listen, this is what I would say. I think clubs like Brighton, and I think Brighton do have a very, very good transfer policy, but clubs like Brighton, clubs like West Ham, clubs like Everton maybe, will be willing to splash the cash. They'll be willing to splash the money on Florian Balogun. And I don't have a problem personally with Arsenal selling Florian Balogun. Look, if we cannot be that club that brings players onto the scene and then uses them, all of them. It's never possible. I think Balogun, if Arsenal getting good money, if you're getting 30, 40, 50, maybe 50 is too much, but again, the market is inflated. We're talking about an English young striker that has been absolutely tearing it apart in the French Ligue 1 at a top level, right? So if Arsenal getting anywhere between 35 to 50 million, in my opinion, you sell him and reinvest that money in the squad. We do need a central midfielder. We do need a defensive midfielder to back up Thomas Partey in the long run. I think we also still need a left winger because Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli, I'm not yet convinced about that, about them, one backing up the other. So I think we will need someone, maybe like Mo said, we will need someone to start on the left wing as a more regular guy. So I think we sell Balogun. I don't know whether you lads think like I do, but I think we sell Balogun and reinvest that in the squad. It doesn't hurt. It would definitely not hurt. Now, according to Ben Jacobs, he was speaking about Arsenal's transfer plan for the summer, and he said what he knows right now is that Arsenal will definitely add a central midfielder this summer. It's boring, isn't it? It's now 3 straight years we've been singing and speaking about the same thing. Arsenal will sign a defensive midfielder. Arsenal will sign a central midfielder. Arsenal will sign a defensive midfielder. Arsenal will sign a central midfielder. But I kind of feel for Mikel Arteta right now. He's got that kind of attacking line that can take you through another season. Saka, Jesus, Nketiah, Trossard, Smith Rowe, and Martinelli. That can take you another season because next season, I think Martinelli will be up a level. Saka will be up a level as well, and Leandro Trossard would have gotten used to the system, to the players, and everything like that. Right. So I think the forward line, maybe one more player in the summer would actually be very, very nice, but it's all right. The defensive line with Jakub Kiwior now coming in to back up Gabriel Magalhaes. You have Benjamin White. You have William Saliba, Takara Tomiyasu, Alexander Zinchenko, and the likes of Kieran Tierney. I think the back line is okay. The goalkeeping department is still fine as well. It is the midfield. It is the midfield where we need to get more bodies in there. We need to get more brains in that midfield area. And to be honest, look, I think we need a smarter player than Granit Xhaka. I love Xhaka. This season, maybe my player of the season so far for Arsenal. Very, very good. He's gone up levels. Not a level, but he's gone up levels, Granit Xhaka. But I'm going to say this. Arsenal need a smarter guy. Arsenal need a smarter player than Granit Xhaka. That could be Yuri Tielemans. That could be anyone, right? That could be anyone. I do not care. But if I could get one player from Manchester United and place him in my squad, that should be Christian Eriksen. And that shows you how much I really rate players that do have the brain, players that are going to think outside the box, players that are always going to see the different picture, always. So Xhaka doesn't do that, and I think Arsenal need a smarter guy there. So Ben Jacobs says Arsenal will definitely try to sign a central midfielder in the summer. Now, what is interesting here, he says Declan Rice is on top of the list, but Yuri Tielemans is still a favorite to join on a free. Okay? Rice is a priority, but Yuri Tielemans is still a priority to join on a fray. So I don't know whether Mikel Arteta has looked at Declan Rice and has been convinced about him playing as a central midfielder. Otherwise, if you're signing Declan Rice as a central midfielder, don't sign him. If Arsenal want Declan Rice as a central midfielder, don't sign him. It's useless. It's absolutely, utterly useless. Don't sign him. For me, you can't replace Xhaka with Declan Rice. Declan Rice, world-class player, but as a defensive midfielder. But if we want him to play him as a central midfielder, that kind of role that is creeping into this season for West Ham, don't try it. I don't think he's got that progressive, that progressive prowess of players like Christian Eriksen. And I know many English pundits, many English journalists will actually back him. I've never seen anyone criticize Declan Rice. I've never seen anyone criticize Declan Rice. Is he perfect? I don't think he's perfect. Does he want to play as a central midfielder? When I look at him play for West Ham, I think he wants to play there. I think he wants to get more involved in action, okay? So if we are bringing him as a defensive midfielder, £80 million, I still think that is kind of a waste still. £80 million is a waste for Arsenal, right? Go to Brighton and get a Moises Caicedo for 60 million, 65 million. They will give us Moises Caicedo. They refused all those offers because they never wanted to sell in January, okay? And we never wanted to jeopardize the relationship we have with the team, with Brighton, because how many players have we gotten from Brighton? How many more players can we get from there? Cairo Mitoma is one of them. You could get a McAllister out of there as well. There's so many players you could get out of Brighton. There's so many players. Even if you wanted a good goalkeeper, you could go to Brighton. So for me, this is my opinion. Declan Rice can sign for us. Yuri Tielemans can also sign for us. Actually, we should do Rice and Tielemans. That would be perfect. That would be absolutely brilliant. If we cannot do Rice and Tielemans, then we should do Caicedo and Tielemans. I don't see the need of a bidding war. I just don't see the need of Arsenal going into a bidding war for Rice or for Moises Caicedo or for anyone. There is no need. How many clubs are going to be trying to buy a defensive midfielder for hundreds of millions? Maybe Madrid, like they did with Orient Tchouameni. For me, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy, right? But to be honest, I think Arsenal going for Caicedo and Tielemans is a far better market than for us going for Rice and Tielemans. Because what Rice does for me, Moises Caicedo is able to do. And what Xhaka doesn't do, Yuri Tielemans is able to do. That lifts our squad massively. And I think we are talking about two players that have already played in the Premier League. We're talking about two players that have a big future ahead of them. And we're talking about two players that can massively elevate this Arsenal squad. So let me know in the comment section what you're thinking about Declan Rice and the central midfield position. Of course, we've also have been told that Arsenal are in pole position to sign Serge Milinkovic-Savic. This is a story that whenever I'm trying to prepare for a show, it pops up. Whenever I'm trying to prepare for a show, on Arsenal show, it pops up. Serge Milinkovic-Savic. Somehow, we are always linked with Serge Milinkovic-Savic, and we never sign him. That's what is very interesting. We never signed Serge Milinkovic-Savic, but we are always linked to Serge Milinkovic-Savic. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. How we are linked with a player for 6-7 years and the guy never signs for us. But look, I do love Serge Milinkovic-Savic. Has a lot to offer. Has a lot on his game. If he came into this Arsenal side, it would be different. His numbers are absolutely sensational. Absolutely sensational. For an attacking midfielder, for a central midfielder, call him what you want. He is a sensation. He is an absolute sensation. So, again, another player linked with us. I don't want to comment about Serge Milinkovic-Savic. I don't think he will sign for Arsenal. I think he's one of those players that could go until their 30s, 35, 36, playing for Lazio. And we all said, we wanted him, but we eventually never signed him. So for the last part of this of the show, let's talk about Gabriel Martinelli. Boys and girls, what is going on with Gabriel Martinelli at Arsenal? What is happening to the sensational talent that we have seen for 18, 17 straight games? Why is Gabriel Martinelli being isolated by his own players on the pitch? What is going on? I'm still asking myself. I've seen this in 2 consecutive games. The first game was against Manchester United. We were never using the left-hand side of our attack until Gabriel Martinelli went off, and then when Leandro Trossard comes on, the goal comes from the left-hand side of the attack. In the Newcastle game, still, I'm looking for Gabriel Martinelli. I'm looking for him to receive the ball, and all the players from the midfield are not playing that ball into him. Whether it's Zinchenko, Xhaka, Odegaard, Partey, they're not playing that ball into Gabriel Martinelli. Recently was the Everton game. I think, I think many people like Saka a lot, and I like Gabriel Martinelli a lot. I think Martinelli is a far better player than all these other players that we actually always talk about. He's been the Premier League's best 11 or Premier League's best left winger this campaign by a mile, until Marcus Rashford regained his form and became the player he is right now, right? And such a shame that when Marcus Rashford became great again, Martinelli has been isolated by the Arsenal team. I just don't understand it. The average position show that he is always where he's supposed to be, stretching the pitch, keeping fullbacks, outstretched. You've got to play that ball into him because he's got the ability to make things happen. He's got the ability to beat players 1v1. And I know his dribbling has been a little bit futile. His dribbling attempts have been a little bit futile in the last games. But that doesn't mean anything. We've played so many players in that team until they got better. I don't want to see this nonsense. I'll talk about it in the preview later. I don't want to see that nonsense again. The ball should be played into the hands of the genius. And for me, Martinelli is still a world-class star. So I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on there. But if it happens again, the next match reaction, I'll talk about it. I'll definitely talk about it. But let me know, do you think Gabriel Martinelli has actually dropped off? Does he need to rest? Or it's just the arrival of Leandro Trossard that has actually affected him? Let me know in the comment section.